That's the last question out of the ethics section. Is it a breach of the precept against false speech to share wrong information about COVID-19 via WhatsApp or Facebook? You know, sometimes you get these clips or a short information video or a list of things as a picture either on the phone or on the laptop. These platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, and many others probably. So if you share that and the information is wrong, not everything is maybe correct. If you share that, forward it to your friends, you commit a breach of the precept against false speech, of lying. Answer A, no, because the precept against lying covers only spoken words. Text that is written on paper or sent away with an app is not included. Okay. Or answer B, it only counts as false speech if the information was written by oneself, not if one reshares what somebody else has written. And even if the other information is wrong and potentially misleading, it's not a breach of one's precepts if one reshares that. So the answer B. Or answer C. It depends on whether one is aware of the falseness of the information. And if yes, then it does constitute a breach of one's precept against lying. So if you know it's probably wrong, or you have already decided it's not right, but kind of interesting, I still want to share it, then some say, yes, this is breaking one's precept against lying. Or answer D. There's no such thing as wrong information anywhere to be found on WhatsApp or Facebook. Information on these platforms is as reliable as information found on a reputable news outlet, a proper newspaper with employed journalists and so on. There's no such thing about like wrong information or fake news spreading on Facebook. Or answer E. It doesn't matter whether one knows about the falseness of the information or not. It is therefore important to fact check before sharing information in order to make sure not to break the precept against lying. So if it turns out to be correct and you share it, it's okay. But if it's wrong, even if you don't know it, but it's still a false information that you share, that is still against the precept of lying. Therefore, it's important to check first whether this information is correct or wrong. And if it turns out, even if you don't know, it's wrong and you share it and tell it somebody else, present it as something true because you also believe it, then you would commit a breach of this precept. This is answer E. Okay. So again, I give you some time to think about it. With this question, the answers are a bit long. I'll give you a few extra seconds. Five more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let us see how you have voted. Wow, 50%, half, have given answer C. It depends on whether one is aware of the falseness of information. If yes, then it's a breach of one's precept against lying. And then what have the others voted? Cannot really see it here on my screen. E does not appear somehow. Okay. but it must be E because there's nothing else left. You have to scroll down a little bit that we can see the answers below. So I assume answer E would be the other 50%. Yeah, now we see it. Thank you very much. So the other half is voted that it doesn't matter. And if it's wrong, you break your precepts. So it turns out, correct answer, we already see it, answer C. Answer C means it's only wrong if you know about it. So if you reshare it and you know this is wrong and you give it to somebody else, knowingly pretending it to be true, so to speak, and validating it, many of us would agree that this is a breach of your precepts. Doesn't matter whether it's said orally or written. And it is therefore important also to be careful, is this really true? Because there's so much information or something that seemed like information that has some agenda behind it, either politically motivated or for other reasons, that it's very difficult these days. So sometimes I also get these things when I'm not actively looking, but having WhatsApp time to time, seeing those messages, sometimes I also don't know if it's real or not. So I would certainly recommend to be careful resharing things that do not come from a reputable source or seem very over the top. So that's often a sign that something fantastically great, like this one food cures cancer or cures COVID-19. Just eat enough bananas, whatever it is. Almost too good to be true. The same also with terrible information. Some of that also usually is somewhere in between. But for lying, the intention is important. So you have to know that something is wrong and then say it. Only then it will constitute lying. If you think it's true, but it turns out to be wrong, that is still not lying. You can say it's a misrepresentation of the truth, but would not count as lying. It's also very important when you sometimes have the feeling that other people say something to you, which you can identify, no, that's not right. And sometimes people are very quick to jump to the conclusion, it's lying. Not necessarily, because that person might really believe what he or she says. So unless you can read her mind, you shouldn't say she's lying, because it means that you know exactly that she knows that the information is wrong and she deliberately tries to misrepresent it. So we have to be very careful not to accuse people of wrong things, that they might just lack information, or it might be just their true opinion. So that would not count